Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be another Canadian Soldier Reacts video, and today we're going to be looking at the Para's Britain's Elite Airborne Infantry. So, as most of you will know by now, I am not a Para. I was 1 RCR for about 12 years, just a little over 12 years, but I never did my jump course, so I'm going to be reacting from what I know, what I see here, and what I know from a bunch of friends and acquaintances who are paras, guys I worked with. So let's get into it.
Airborne personnel stand up. Airborne personnel stand up.
Okay. So first of all, let me just go back here a bit. So, I've got a lot of stories from a lot of guys who did their jump course, who were in the regiment or the jump companies. I know a lot of guys, worked with a lot. What I'm seeing here with the static lines and how fast they're exiting the plane looks a fair bit like what the Canadians do. I mean, these guys are just learning, so it might be a little bit slower. And I've actually seen videos of I think it was 3 RCR exiting the plane, and it's comical how fast they get off of the plane. It's like a hot potato. The last man out has to do push-ups or something. It's pretty funny. Anyway, let's keep going. The Parachute Regiment, colloquially known as the Paras, is an airborne infantry regiment of the British Army. Okay. That's interesting. That looks like a square chute. I know that there are different types of chutes. I'm pretty sure our guys used to use a round chute. And I'm told that they don't steer very well. There is a show unit, demonstration unit, called the Skyhawks, I believe. In fact, I have a couple of friends that were on that a couple of times. And I'm told that parachute is a lot easier to steer. I don't know. This kind of looks like a cross between a square and a round chute. I don't know. Sorry about that. Oh. This looks like a combat jump. So this looks like a combat jump with full kit. Yeah, you can see it dangling there below him. Wow, got something caught in my throat there. There it goes. The Paras provide the capability to deploy at very short notice by air worldwide. Well, I mean, there's a lot of units that can deploy at very short notice. The difference with these guys is they can get on the ground at where they're needed a lot faster because they just jump out of the plane. So I think I've talked about this before, right? The Pathfinder, I'm assuming it's the same thing or something similar. The Pathfinders are going to be the first to jump. They're basically your airborne reconnaissance. They'll go in very quietly. They'll do a reconnaissance. They'll find a spot for a landing zone. They'll mark the landing zone. Then these guys will jump in. They will take the landing zone by force, and they will hold the landing zone. And then my unit will air assault in 1 RCR type of unit, any air assault unit will come in usually by helicopter. and then we'll start advancing forward, and then all of the follow-on forces will come after that. As we continue to build up a presence and a force, more and more units are able to come in, and they'll actually create a landing zone eventually, and we'll start. That will be our base of operations, kind of a thing. That's the basic gist of how it works. They are trained in exacting standards and form the spearhead of the UK's rapid intervention strategy. Okay, cool. They are professional, resilient, brave. Yeah, I mean, the only issue that I take with statements like this is it gives the impression that the other units are not. But I mean, I know I've seen some stuff in the news about some American units that are less than stellar in their professionalism, their bravery, and their self-reliance. But it's been my experience that the vast majority of the unit, I mean, there's definitely different levels of training between the different countries, but the units that I've worked with have always been top notch. Like 10th Mountain Division, worked with them extensively, and I found them to be professional, resilient, brave, and self-reliant. My unit, most definitely. Our commando, most definitely. I've worked with the British. I've worked with some British paras, and I haven't worked with the British paras. I've worked with the King's Own Royal Border Regiment. I've worked with the Royal Marines. All of them were just top-notch people. So, yeah, I don't take anything away from these guys. It's just the way that you put it like this kind of gives a false impression of everyone else. That's a lot of guys on the ground pretty fast. So I'm also led to understand that these guys don't pack their own chutes, which is fine. They're in Petawawa, where I was stationed. The commando was also stationed there, and there was an airborne riggers hangar there. There was a riggers school and a riggers hangar, and it's my understanding that those guys packed all of the chutes, and then when these guys would put them on, they would get checked, I think, at least twice by other people to make sure that they were on properly, packed properly. I don't know exactly how you do that, but lots of redundant checks. Because let's face it, if that little bit of silk is holding you up half a kilometer or more in the air, it's kind of important. The parachute regiment were formed in World War II. Was formed in World War II? I don't know. What's the proper grammar there? Determined and courageous, they earned the nickname Red Devils from the German paras in North Africa. Well, I'm going to take issue with that. I don't know if that's true or not. That may be true, but my regiment was part of the Red Devils Brigade. The Red Devils Brigade was both Canadian and American. They were the first, I call them commandos, I guess, special service forces, whatever it is. But that was World War II. They were stood up for special operations, essentially, mountain warfare, things of that nature. They get sent in when other units just couldn't do the job. And there were some apparently really colorful people in that unit. In Canada, they were all regular force soldiers and all volunteers. But in the United States, some, if not many of them, apparently were criminals, convicts. So they were definitely a colorful company. And to this day, my brigade still wears the red patch for the Red Devils. So I've never heard the British Paras called Red Devils. I'm not saying that they're not, I've just never heard it. Heroic actions in Normandy, Arnhem, and the Falklands and Afghanistan. Okay, cool. I mean, I'm assuming those are the battle honors. That's a lot of kit I gotta lug around. Yes, this is obviously just a practice jump, but it's a combat simulated jump. Assuming this is a Black Hawk? We didn't use these. Even when I worked with the Paras and the Royal Marines, we would use Pumas, whatever it was. That was actually a nice helicopter.
Bailey, 2 men.
Oh, that's interesting. They've got yellow stripes on their magazines. I'm assuming that's to indicate blanks in the magazine. Actually, it's not a terrible idea.
I'm pretty stretched.
Parachute regiments consists of 3 regular Army battalions, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and an Army Reserve battalion, the 4th. Yeah, any Canadian regiment is set up essentially the same way. The RCR are set up that way. The Commando was sort of set up that way, except they weren't as large as battalions. They called them the regiment, the Airborne Regiment, but it was really only 3 companies, or maybe heavy companies. Canada doesn't have a lot of people, right? Did he actually shoot at the cameraman? That'd be funny if he did. First Battalion is permanently under the command of the Director Special Forces in the Special Forces Support Group. I wonder what that means. Because the commanding officer of a battalion should be a lieutenant colonel. Or I've heard some of them actually have full colonels, which is interesting. But I don't know what it means to be under the command of the Director of Special Forces. If you know what that means, let me know down in the comments, please.
Let's go.
Rounds hitting his head. The other battalions are parachute infantry. Are the parachute infantry component of the British Army's Rapid Response Formation 16 Air Assault Brigade. Cool. I believe. Oh, now I guess I get it. I believe that's a Miles system, or whatever they call their laser. Yeah, he's got the Miles headset on. So that's a system where they actually shoot a laser out the end, and if you get hit by somebody else's laser, it turns off your own laser. You can still fire the blanks, but you won't actually be shooting laser, and that will indicate kills, right? So it's actually quite a nice little system. We never had them when I was in, but we used the Americans a few times.
4, 3, 2, 1, go! Go, 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 go! Don't rush it! What have you done?
So, FIBUA training, fighting in built-up area, or I don't know what they call it. Night training. Okay, so now this is interesting. I've talked about this before, especially in a couple of the American reaction videos. You hear this guy trying to communicate with his section right now, and you hear the things that are going off around him. And to be honest, that's kind of two things. First of all, they're in reasonably close quarters, and secondly, the sound is reasonably light. Blanks are nowhere near as loud as live rounds. Being able to communicate in those situations is difficult, and you've really got to be trained in that. It looks like, so he's got some sort of a headset on with a microphone. I'm guessing that's for longer range communication back to either platoon or company command. Yeah, you saw the look on his face, like, I give up. That I totally understand that. He's just turning live rounds and empty casings there. Oh, that's interesting. So again, blank rounds, so they're not going to be as loud as the real rounds. But you saw the difference there between the, I'm going to call them the Canadian versions. I don't know what the British versions are called, but the C8 and the C6, right? The C8 is the Squad Automatic Weapon 5.56. The C6 is the GPMG 7.62. Significant difference in noise level with the two of them, and significant level. You see the shoulder shake too.
Big news.
The regiment's paratroopers are trained to conduct a range of missions. From prevention and preemption tasks to complex high-intensity war fighting. Cool. Oh, that's interesting. That guy's got a bipod. That's a... I'm going back for a second. So this weapon that he's got, it actually seems similar to... So that's either similar to our C7A2. It's hard to judge the length of the barrel there, or the C8, one of the two. But he's got a bipod on it. Oh, and he's got a really high-powered scope for that weapon, too. I mean, are they using that thing as a sniper rifle? I don't know that it... I don't know. Maybe if you guys know more about that weapon than I do, it doesn't look to me like it would be suited for a sniper rifle. But that's the only reason for such a large sight and a bipod that I can think of. But again, if you know why, let me know down in the comment. Yeah, in the comments. Northwest Europe, 1942, North Africa, Sicily, Italy. You know, several of these are our battle honors, too. North Africa, Sicily, Italy. I think Italy. Sicily, definitely. I'm going to have to pull up our battle honors at some point again. I was looking at them a couple of weeks ago, but I'm old. My memory's not what it used to be. Okay. Get both of them. Iraq 2003. So I'm guessing that's the first Gulf War. Well, interestingly, oh no, we were working with the Desert Rats. I don't know what their battalion designation is. I just know that they had the Desert Rat. They had a flag, literally the Desert Rats flag, over their camp when we were there. I don't think we were working with the paras at all. Holy crap, he's got a 10-foot antenna? Yeah, that looks like an HF antenna. Is he got a man. Well, there are man-packable HF antennas, but moving and firing with them? That seems like it would be very difficult. Oh, he's got to be enemy force with the blue cap on. They actually have an advantage there because they don't have miles gear on their head. These guys do. They have miles gear on their head. So if you get hit in the head, you'll get a kill. But without the miles gear, you can hit them in the head all day long. You're not going to get a kill.
Hey, pull the man up.
That looks like a sun toe compass.
3, 2, 1, go! This way! That way!
So that looks like a Chinook, or whatever their version is. We use these a lot. Okay, so a lot of guys passing the camera. Holy crap. I'll tell you, if that's their ride out, you never want to be late for your ride out. Currently, recruits for the parachute regiment must be aged 16 to 35. You can recruit for the paras at 16? Holy crap. That just seems young to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old. 16-year-old looks like he's 3 to me now. I swear to God, I'm way too old. I'd say they've used... Oh, hold on. There you go. You can see it now. They've used this area before. This is obviously a regular training area because that's an old glow stick that somebody tied to the tree. That's funny. Or 18 to 40 for the Army Reserve. That's interesting. You can go into the Reg Force 2 years earlier than you can go into the Army Reserve. That's weird. Yeah, if they're getting on a helicopter, he's going to have to take that antenna down. All recruit training is undertaken over a 30-week course with 2nd Infantry Training Battalion at the Infantry Training Center in Catterick. Cool. Those who are successful are awarded the Maroon Beret. Yeah, so in Canada, you have to get your para course first. And that gives you your wings, your cherry wings, essentially. And then you get your Maroon Beret and your white wings when you get to the regiment. Now, I don't know if there's a selection phase after that. That I'm interested to know. So if you're a Canadian and you know the answer to this, let me know. After you've got your cherry wings, you go to the, well, it'd be the jump company now. Is there actually a selection phase or like a probationary period where you can, if you don't pass, if you fail whatever it is that you're doing at the regiment, they send you back? I'd be very interested to know that. On completion of basic training and entry into a battalion, recruits are posted to the RAF Breeze Norton for a basic parachute course. That's interesting. You go to the battalion before you get your parachute course. Canada does it exactly the opposite way. And for those of you that want to hate on me, I am not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying it's different. Recruits must complete a minimum of 5 jumps in order to qualify as a parachutist. Yeah, it was like 5 or 6, I think, for us. 2 jumps from a C-130. Geez, I think all of our jumps are done from a C-130. I'd be interested to know what the other jumps they do are. Yeah, I'm sure he's happy to have that camera in his face. So, all right. So this brings up another interesting point. What you're looking at here looks to be just regular infantry workload. And that's the thing about the airborne in most cases, is that the method of delivery is different, right? So you're jumping into your AOE or AO, area of operation. And AOE means something completely different. Wow. And you're generally surrounded when you get in there. So, I mean, let's face it. If you're a Pathfinder and you get seen, you're probably dead because there's just not enough of you. But when the regiment then jumps in, or the battalion, whatever it is, jumps in, you're surrounded and the enemy doesn't want you there. So you're going to be getting hit from all sides. So that is extremely difficult to do. But after that, every single thing that these guys do is exactly the same as a regular tier 1 infantry battalion, right? I'm coming to understand that there are infantry battalions that just aren't up to standard. I get that. I understand that. When I was in, I didn't see any of that because all of the units that I worked with, they were all, well, again, I don't want to say that because there were some countries where the whole country was just crap. But Canadians, the Americans that I worked with, the British that I worked with, those are really the big ones, the big three. Yeah. Yeah, those are the big three. They were all at a level, at least the ones I worked with, were all at a really high level. So I didn't really see any difference in them. And like I say, the job of the infantry, once you're on the ground, it's exactly the same. As evidenced right here. Well, looks like it's over. All right. Well, I mean, that was interesting. Definitely some heavyweight training there, right? And these guys absolutely definitely have a very difficult job. And like I said, if you're jumping in behind enemy lines and you're surrounded and you're getting hit from all sides, you definitely have to have your crap wired tight. So good on them. Good video. And yeah, I think that's probably about it. If you like the video, please leave a like down in the bottom. Please subscribe. Tell your friends about me. I would really appreciate it. It helps grow the channel. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.